Okay, so now that we've imported our standards into the outcomes, we can create rubrics using them. So when creating an assignment, you can add a rubric to that assignment using the outcomes or using our state standards with them. So that way you can grade the assignment based on those standards. Using the rubric with the standards will help you use the mastery gradebook, and it'll help you get you a snapshot or a quick view of how your students are performing on those specific standards. We'll go over grading and the mastery gradebook in another video. Today, I just want to show you how to create those rubrics on your daily assignments using the outcomes or the state standards. So I'm going to go into my sandbox here. Okay, and I've already had this module set up, creating just called the module creating a rubric test module. When I'm creating assignments in my classroom on Canvas, I like to usually create them within the module. That way it's already organized for the students and it's already organized for me and ready to go. But there are a couple different ways to create an assignment. Again, we'll show that in a different video, but quickly, we have the plus symbol here. Over here on the side in your menu, you also have your assignments button where you can create assignments and organize them. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to create it within this module. So I have my module ready to go. I'm going to click my plus button. This will allow me to add the different categories to my module. So here I'm going to add an assignment, but you can add quiz, file, all this stuff. But we're just going to start with assignment. So I'm going to do a new assignment, and I'm just going to call my assignment, let's call it test rubric, just for fun. I'm not going to indent, so let's add our item. So there, it automatically created the assignment. So from there, when I click on the new assignment, it brings me to this screen here. So this is my assignment screen. This is where I will go to edit my assignment. You will have our content here, the due date, who it's for, what it's available from, and look right here, we have our rubric button. This is where we go in to add the rubric. We do not go into the edit section to add a rubric to your assignment. And here's a hint. If you're using something, if you're an external site to create for this assignment like Cami or Google or anything like that, create the rubric first, because if you use that external tool before you create your rubric, it's not going to give you that option to create your rubric. So before you go in to edit your assignment, create your rubric first. I cannot stress that enough. Create your rubric first. So I have my test assignment here. I'm going to click the plus rubric button. So we're adding my rubric. Now here you have your options. You have the title option. If you've already created a rubric, you can click here and find it there. This is where you create your rubric. Now, with a rubric, you can create your own rubric. You can add your own descriptions, your own criteria, your own ratings. But for the purpose of this, what I like about it is that you just throw in the standard. It does the ratings for you. You can give it a title, and I'll show you how I title mine just to keep everything organized. Makes it easy. I don't create my own brand new rubric all the time. I have for a couple things, but for this purpose, it's just for daily assignments. I like throwing on the standard on there. So we're here, and notice here at this point we have find outcome. This is why it's important to import those standards into your outcome. So I'm going to click find outcome. Now here, look, grade 4. It just says grade 4. It doesn't specify math. And it's not going to specify math or language arts or anything like that, which is another reason why I like setting up my Canvas with separate classrooms, one for math, one for language arts, one for reading, so on and so forth. But if you have them all there, it is going to list everything that you've imported right here. So if you've imported for all subjects, it's going to have it all listed, and it's not necessarily going to say math. It may just say grade 4, like it does here. So I'm going to click grade 4, and now it drops down. Let's see, currently we're doing a geometry unit. So I'm going to click geometry, drill down a little bit further. And this is, let's say we're doing this standard, recognizing line of symmetry today for this assignment. So I'm going to click on that standard. and then I'm going to click import down here. Now these, the exceeds expectations, meets, does not meet, cannot be changed. And you have an option here, use this criterion for scoring. Typically, I don't use it for scoring the assignment. You can, once you play around with it and learn how to use it, please feel free to do what you are comfortable with. So I've chose the standard. I'm going to click import. Now notice it has this one that it defaulted with, and now it has my standard with the 5.3.0 point grading. I'm going to delete this first one. I do not need that. I don't want it, so I'm just going to click the trash can. Now that my assignment is a daily assignment, and it's only for this standard. Now I don't have the rubric created, so I'm going to show you how I title my rubrics. What I do is I title them first with the number associated with the standard, and then just a brief description of what the standard is. That way I can find the standard if I'm looking for the description, all that. Now, if you've got a rubric where you want to add multiple standards, all you can do that. Click Find Outcome, add another standard, and there you go. You can add multiple standards to your rubric. For the purpose of daily assignments, typically it's just one standard you're looking at, primarily for mastery. So that's why I do that. I will go over with you how I do a writing in a separate video. But for the purpose of this assignment, we're looking at symmetry. Now you have some options here. You can, what's called free write or free form comments. That takes away those ratings where you will type in your grading, your score for that. Some of you may enjoy that. For me, for quick grading, I don't like that because you have to go in and type in for everything and what their score is. It still does it on a 5-point scale. So I typically do not do free form. Sometimes I do, but for dailies, typically I do not. You can remove the points from the rubric to where when the student looks at this, all they'll see is exceeds, meets, and does not meet. They will not see the points. Okay. Now, you also have the option, do not post outcome results to Learning Mastery Gradebook. And we'll go over grading in the Learning Mastery Gradebook in a separate video. But for this video, it's up to you. If you're just an introductory assignment and you got the rubric on there and you don't want to post it to the gradebook, then you obviously check that button. Otherwise, leave it unchecked if you want it posted to your gradebook inside Canvas. You can use this gradebook for assignment grading. Now, that one, what you can do is when you go in to edit the assignment, it has a grading option. So if you want to use this rubric for grading, check that box and it'll use what you give it, what score you give it for the grading. If you have a different scale for grading, you do it on a 100-point scale, then leave that box unchecked. That way you can still do your grading and it doesn't add extra work. It actually is fairly simple and very easy. And I'll show you that in the next video. Or you can just use this rubric for grading. That is up to you. Again, once you get used to how to use it, that'll be something that you'll just have to tweak and play with, see what you prefer. And then you can hide score total for assessment results. And that's for the student view and the parent view. Okay. So I'm not going to check any of those. I'm going to leave it like it is. I'm going to only use this one standard. So then I'm going to click Create Rubric. And there we go. We have our rubric created for this assignment. Now you can go into Edit, add whatever instructions you need to your assignments here, give it the points, fill in all the other typical assignment categories there. But now you do have that rubric attached to that specific assignment. In the next video, I'll go over how to use the rubric for grading and what the Mastery Gradebook looks like.